Season 6 of Superior Angling TV is brought to you by RJ Sport and Cycle and the rest of our fine sponsors. Your big ice fishing destination trips are fun, don't get me wrong. However, there's something to be said about a local bite on a local lake that you grew up fishing. The earliest memories with Dad and Grandpa, and here we are 25 years later. I mean, in the end, it's the reason we live where we do, right? Sneaking out for a half day on a local reservoir, catching 10 walleyes midweek is pretty special. The level of excitement can be right up there with the big name destinations. The fish may be smaller, but the memories can be even bigger. All right, good morning and welcome to this episode of Superior Angling. It feels good to be on the ice in November. A lot of Novembers, you don't get the opportunity to ice fish. You're stuck indoors because it's warm. But this November, we are out here and we're on some pretty safe ice. If you guys have followed along with us for a while now, you'll start to notice a consistent theme, especially when it comes to ice fishing episodes, is that a lot of our intros, we're out here in the dark. And that's for one main reason, is that especially for walleyes, through the ice, they're very, very light sensitive. So if I had one tip for you guys to, have greater success ice fishing, it's to get out here in the dark. But with that, you have to use safety. Make sure you're on good ice, especially traveling in the dark. I cannot overemphasize safety. But walleyes are very, very light sensitive. Why? Because you have thin ice and very, very little snow cover, especially early season like this. So you get any sun that comes up in the sky, light penetration down there, walleyes, they all but become inactive. So if you do have clouds, it's kind of a different story. Now, these lakes and reservoirs north of Duluth here are not known for big walleye. There are abundant walleyes in them though. So that's kind of the game plan today, is hopefully you get a bunch of those good eater size fish, those 14 to 18 inch fish. They put up a great fight. They're delicious table fare, and you can come out here and catch a bunch of them. So a couple keys to success are fishing shallow. I cannot overemphasize the importance of fishing shallow, especially early season like this. We're talking 4, 5, 6, 7 feet of water. Whether you're on, the St. Louis River or up in Ontario or wherever you may be, no matter what kind of lake, walleyes are going to be very, very shallow first ice. You can count on that because there's still weeds, there's still activity, oxygen, bait fish in those weeds, and other shallow structure alike. So that's what's holding them there. And as a general rule of thumb, as the winter progresses, your walleyes are going to slide deeper. So in November, December, focus on that shallow water and you can have a blast. Now we've got our iFish Pros set up. We are going to focus on jigging as well, some spoons, some rattle baits. We have Busker with us today. He'll go over some of his custom colors that he paints up. And yeah, hopefully we're gonna have a good day. Stick with us, it should be a good one.
We got our iFish Pros out now. Now we're gonna start jigging fish, try calling them in and flashing them in, tracking them to our iFish Pros and to our jigging baits. And get some custom rattle baits we'll be throwing down there. And we got a backup rod in case they don't take that. We'll throw a spoon down their tip of the chub head. But basically we're just fishing a big bay full of just stumps and logs and deadfall everywhere. And there's a lot of fish hanging around, hiding in there and ambushing bait. So it should be a good day.
Jig and spoon down there. Buster's got a big rattle bait on. So if you guys have two people fishing right next to each other, kind of use it to your advantage. One person can work a big rattle bait, one person can work more of a subtle spoon. A lot of times that rattle bait calls fish in, and sometimes fish just don't hit it, but they'll slide over and hit the spoon that the guy next to you is working. So we're gonna go with that theory here, and hopefully you can see a jigging fish here as we wait for our iFish Pros to go off. Now we're jigging about, 30 yards away from our iFish Pros, and that's for a reason. We're only in 7 feet of water right here. you'd be very, very surprised at how much noise walking on top of thin ice makes. And with that, walleyes are very responsive to that noise, and they're going to spook. So it's kind of strategy that we're set back a little bit from our iFish pros right now, so we can let them be out there in the peace and quiet. So iFish pros are nice too, because when that flag does pop off, that plastic rattles against the ice, and it's pretty loud, and you can definitely hear it. So you know, that sun's starting to get it's starting to see some orange in the horizon over there. We have some clouds actually pushing in, which I think is going to help us. We'll take them. I'd prefer a little bit of clouds versus pure sun. So yeah, we're just gonna sit here and jig for a little bit and hopefully have a fish on the ice before too long. Oh, that thing's frozen in there good.
First fish in the morning on the iFish Pro.
Attaboy, Busker. We've waited for this one.
Yes, we did.
We've waited for this one.
Here it is.
It's a nice walleye.
Nice walleye.
Very nice walleye.
Heck yeah, buddy.
That's a very nice walleye. It's 20-incher.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Sweet.
We're just sitting there jigging, waiting for that sun to come up. That eastern sky is sure orange, but we don't see the sun yet. It's cold. We're gonna get this one, let this one go, eh?
Yep, that's a thrower back there for sure.
We're gonna get it back quick here so its fins don't freeze and its eyes don't freeze, but a beautiful, beautiful walleye, and that's a great start to the day.
Yeah.
That is a little reassuring. You start to get daylight like now and you don't get a bite, and it's like, what's going on here? But it's always nice to see a fish, and that happens fast.
Yeah, we need that. That was a nice one too, chunky.
That's a heck of a walleye for this area. I
Yeah.
mean, 20-incher through the ice. That's beautiful. You can't ask for much more than that to start the day. So again, iFish pros, that's no surprise. Just kind of sitting there away from us out here in the peace and quiet. And you just wait till you hear that plastic of the iFish Pro rattle against the ice, and it's an all-out sprint to get there. And,
start running.
Right? Yeah. And again, when these go off, you don't want to let that fish take it for too long. You know, maybe, I don't know, ideally like 15 to 30 seconds. But get a feel for it throughout the day. You know, if you lose a couple, wait a little bit longer or set it quicker. So, good start.
Yep.
Let's get her back down there.
Okay.
There's an iFish. This is happening fast. This is happening fast. Oh yeah, he's there. He's there. And Busker just got that other one back down there. And this one popped off. There we go. Yeah, look at him, look at him, look at him. Got him. Nice. That is so much fun. It's chaos. I tell you, it's madness. Things happen, and they happen fast out here. Busker just got his fish back down, turned around, and this one is going off. So that's a good walleye. That's a good walleye. I mean, for the Duluth area right there, guys, you cannot go wrong with that fish. Solid 18, 19-incher. And that hook is just choked. All right, beautiful, beautiful fish. They are eating those hooks good. We're just gonna try to get that one back down there quick. When it's windy and cold like this, you gotta release these fish fast because their eyes and fins start to freeze. So we gotta prevent that as much as we can. But we have a lot of wind right now, some passing clouds, and action starting to pop off. I mean, you really gotta, it's 20 minutes, half hour of peak time, you know, early season like this in this shallow water. That's pretty much all you got some days. So we don't know what we're gonna be given today. That could be the extent of our action, or we could be in store here for a couple more. There's an iFish, there's an iFish. And I don't know if you just saw that, but that's the importance of a bait feeder reel like this Okuma here. The bait feeder is essentially a quick setting for the lightest drag possible, and those fish can just take line. So now we engaged it, and now we're gonna reel down to it and watch this rod tip load up. And once it does, we're gonna set the hook. Got him. That feels like a good fish. It's not a bad fish. That's not a bad walleye. Look at that. A perfect eating fish. I don't know, 11, probably 12, maybe 12 and a half incher. Good walleye. And he just choked that treble hook, which is a good sign. I love it. Walleyes on the ice in November. That's one of my favorite things. They're shallow, They're active, they're aggressive, and you can get out here and put a ton of fish on the ice. And you don't have big crowds, you know. You're one of the first people on a lake for the year. The fish are all fresh, you haven't been pressured. You can really have a pretty remarkable day. So, all right, now as we get this iFish Pro reset here, you know, you may look at a map and be like, where do you even start to fish on these reservoirs? And yeah, I mean, that's definitely a factor, and location is everything early season, but I cannot overemphasize the importance of being next to shallow structure. We're not on deep humps, we're not on deep underwater points. We're, you know, shallow weeds. Right in this area there's tons and tons of stumps. You know, that serves as your structure. You know, we put our Markham underwater cameras down there, and there's bait hiding in these stumps, and that's what these walleyes are after. It's an ambush spot. It's an ambush spot for these fish, and that's what you need. Again, I'd feel uncomfortable fishing in water deeper than like 15 feet this time of year. So shallower the better. I mean, it's just of utmost importance to be in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 feet of water. That's literally all you need to be in. So there's my bobber stop. I mean, here's how deep we're fishing right there. It's not very deep here, guys. It's shallow. So, you know, look at a map, find a shallow bay, and in that bay, there's gonna be a weed line. There's gonna be some stumps. There's gonna be, you know, whatever you may find, a transition from rock to sand. And that's what you really wanna key and focus in on. But, you know, weeds are probably your most common variable, or your most common piece of structure in shallower bays and lakes. Or reservoirs like that, but you know, just seek out something that's different, something that can hold bait fish. Think, you know, what would a bait fish like to hide in? And that's where you're going to find walleyes early season. So that's awesome. That's a good start. A couple beautiful walleyes on the ice. I'm looking forward to some more. Nice. Oh, that's a good walleye. That's a good walleye. Look at that. Oh, he just came and T-boned that bait. Just T-boned it. And that there is the importance of making noise. Busker just went around to check some iFish Pros. I grabbed his rattle bait and it paid off. There. Another nice solid 17, 18 incher. That's a beautiful, beautiful fish. I love it. We'll get that one back. Get him back quick. But yeah, right here, Busker, you know, paints these up himself. Awesome color patterns. They're very, very loud. Very loud bait. You can buy these at Marine General, sells them. DB Customs. So yeah, I mean, that's the importance of making noise down there, attracting these fish in. Again, as we were saying, this is just a shallow, it's just a shallow flat area, 6, 7 feet max. And what those walleyes do when you have that kind of structure is they just roam around. They're on the hunt. They just literally just cruising around until they find some bait. And with, you know, if you're using a big rattle bait like this, you can call them in from quite a ways away. I don't know if you guys if you've ever used these baits. I mean, even if you're jigging in like 35 feet of water, you can still hear these baits down on the bottom. I mean, that's how loud they are. So, you know, you can bet that walleyes can, you know, feel that with their lateral lines, and it attracts them in. Sure, it's a big aggressive profile. Some fish don't eat it, but hey, I mean, they're very, very productive, and they catch a lot more fish than you'd think. So definitely give them a try. You know, big aggressive rattle baits, even 12, 13, 14 inch walleyes will hit a bait that big. You can't be too big. So it's a great fish, and yeah, it's good to get a jigging fish every now and then. You rely on iFish Pro so much, and they are probably your most effective tool out here, but hey, the good old-fashioned jigging stick gets one done.
The iFish Pro going, fish on.
Oh, this has been a great morning bite.
Feels like a good one. There's a slip. This feels like a good fish, guys. Been having flags going up all morning. They've been biting the jigging rods too. These iFish Pros with such a big spread. Well, that's a nice fish. You can cover a lot of water with them out there. They get them turned. Looks to be like a nice 18, 19 incher. There we go. Looks bigger than 18, 19. That's 20 all day. It's a really big walleye for this area. Really special fish there. That's the female, just full of eggs. Get her on a hook and we'll throw that one back for sure. Put up such a fun fight on that iFish Pro and that deadeye rod. Nice soft tip on that deadeye. That really gives you a nice fun fight. That treble out. I'll send this girl back. It's one of the bigger fish of the morning. That's good to see. Nice and female. Got to let those ones go. There's so many 14 and 15 and 16 inches you can keep. You might as well let those ones go. Help a future for sure.
Fish, man, they just come out of nowhere. They come out of nowhere with these rattle baits. Look at that. It happens, and it happens fast. You gotta be, you gotta have a sixth sense there, or just be ready to react, because they just ambush these baits. Nice solid 17 incher. Get that one back. Again, another one on Busker's custom rattle bait. And my favorite rod to work these rattle baits is this iRazor St. Croix CCI. It's a 38-inch medium extra fast. And my favorite part about this rod is the full cork handle. It just makes it so easy to rip these baits. You don't get fatigued. You don't have to hold your rod like this, even with a glove on. You know, fishing with gloves on this morning because it's so windy and cold, I can just grip that rod and just, you know, just rip it just like this. So, you know, that 38 inch length, this allows you to get a little bit bigger jig strokes as well. So I cannot, you know, recommend enough the 38 inch iRazor from St. Croix. All right, let's take a minute here to go over how to use these iFish Pros. You guys see us using them all the time. Yes, they are very, very effective. If you put them out, doesn't mean you're automatically going to catch fish. No, there's a time and a place for them. You know, early season like this on the ice in shallow water, that's definitely a good time and place. But let's go over a little bit on how to set these. So everything that it comes with in the box when you buy these is in there. You don't need to buy any other accessories or anything like that. So you just need a rod like we have here. This is a St. Croix CCI Deadeye. It's got a very, very sensitive tip. You can see everything that happens once these set off. So you take your rod. Now the first thing that you do is you put on a bobber stop, just like you would when you're rigging up you know, a dead stick rod with a foam bobber. Put your bobber stop on there. Next, one of these red clips. Now these come with the iFish Pros. It'll be in the box. There's a couple, you always got a couple backups stored onto here, and it comes with a plastic bag full of them. So you need these clips as well. So you have a bobber stop, and then you put on the clip, and then I like to do a little barrel swivel, and then I like to do a split shot, and then a treble hook. So right there, there's, you know, 5 pieces of equipment there. A bobber stop, the clip, I like a barrel swivel, a split shot, and your hook and minnow. So that's really all there is to it. Now, we have our depth set already. So we keep this clip, when you let this line down, keep that red clip right there in your hand, okay? And we're just gonna put it down until we get to our bobber stop. Now this line can't pull any farther. That's the key piece, the whole part of this equation is that bobber stop right there. So now we put our line right through the slot right here on the iFish Pro, and we put it down like that. So looking straight down, the line is going down through the hole. We have our bobber stop and our red clip in our hand. Now what I do is I put the pin on the iFish Pro through this clip right here. I bend the flag down, and then I put that clip over the flag. So now it's setting like that. In any resistance, anything that pulls, it's gonna pull that clip right out of this pin, and it's gonna set, and the flag's gonna go up, and you're gonna have a fish on. Now there's a couple other pieces of, you know, gear or equipment here that come into play. A good rod, and this is the Okuma Samar. It's got a bait feeder feature on it, which is essentially a quick set setting for the lightest drag possible. So when I put my rod in here and this trips off, a fish can pull drag. A fish can pull drag easily, and it's not going to feel much resistance at all. And it gives me time to get there, reel down to them, and set the hook. So that's kind of how we set our iFish Pros. Again, a very, very effective tool. When it's windy and cold like this, it pays to walk around and, you know, pick them up, break the ice out of the hole, set them back down, because sometimes that clip can get stuck on the ice if your hole does freeze up a little bit though. But yeah, you know, great piece of equipment. And today it certainly helped us put a lot of fish on the ice. There's the iFish. That's what you like to see midday. I wouldn't consider this true midday, more so towards our evening bite, but definitely an early fish. If you can get bit in that 1 o'clock hour, early season like this, it's gonna be a bonus. All right, this fish had a little bit of time to run. We're gonna reel down to him and try to watch his rod tip load up. And hopefully there's going to be a walleye on the end of the line. Right there's some weight. Here we go, ready? Fish on. That is awesome. That is so much fun. It feels like a decent one too. Look at that. Ooh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Look at that, man. That is a bonus right there. That is so much fun. And that is all because of these clouds we have right now. If it was bright sun, you would not be getting bit at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Clouds are your friend early season like this when you are in shallow water and you don't have much ice and there's not much snow. That is awesome. This treble hook is just gone. But hey, we're gonna keep this one for dinner. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. Yeah, just, ooh. He inhaled that. I'm gonna have to grab some pliers, but that's what it's all about. I mean, really, really, we cannot overemphasize to rely on your iFish Pros early season like this. They're gonna be your top producers throughout the day and throughout the whole ice season alike. That there is a beautiful walleye. There's the iFish. I love it. You can see him just, yeah, he's there. Set the hook and land the fish. This one peeled out some line. Oh man, magic hour. There he is. Nice. Look at that. Another 14 incher. Nice. Hook right in the corner of his mouth. That's another walleye. Nice. About the same size as that last one. This is our last walleye that came out of this hole too. Probably that same year class. Perfect eaters, 14 and a half inchers. I mean, that's the size that you want to take home for a fish fry right there, and we will gladly do so. I cannot overemphasize the importance of a treble hook too versus just a plain single hook. I feel like, you know, your hookup ratio is just so much better with the treble, and I don't think it deters any fish at all. I mean, these are just tiny little number 8 treble hooks. So that's all that took. We're gonna get this rebaited and back down there. We would like to thank you for watching this episode of Superior Angling TV. You can catch us every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. You can also join us on social media for weekly contests, behind-the-scenes photos, videos, and much more. Also, don't forget, check out superiorangling.com to shop our new apparel available now.